All St. Louis City was supposed to do was be a trustee and a treasury to report back to them and say we're running low on funds. It has a consistency clause that comes with the funding, which basically means when they start getting low, every 90 days you're supposed to send a quarterly report and they re-up you. See, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but I can tell you right now, Republicans have been reaching out to my office basically trying to get me to do interviews with them because they're trying to use this information to destroy Democrats that's in office right here locally. However, I came over here because Mr. Prince Carter, when I met him about a week and a half ago, because this is how fast this got put together.
Let's see if we can.
I knew her.
We can come through now.
And Mr. Willie Boyd. We had a conversation with Mr. Eugene Gordon at his office on Washington about a month ago with Mr. Lance Knuckles, and he was explaining what he was going to make happen. So I took these young people right here down there with me so I could get other voices and other ears to hear what this man is about to lie about. And I'm telling you, he's a flat out liar. Because listen, in front of her and in front of him and in front of Mr. Eugene Gordon and a few other people, I asked him verbatim, did St. Louis City receive funding from SLDC receive funding from the EDA for the Second Chance Recompete pilot program? He said no more than one time. He said no more than one time because he didn't know I was sitting there holding the paperwork with everybody in the entire United States who received the funding.
Okay, this is yours truly, Prince Carter. We're broadcasting live via the World Wide Web. You can, we're just getting ready to do some more testing, getting ready for the radio program coming up on this coming Saturday morning. Have you guys seen the news? Are you paying attention to what's going on in the news today? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand on what I'm about to say, and I believe it's right. I think what is going on in Israel and over there with all that war and stuff is horrible. I think it's a bad thing. But what I think is more worse than that is what's going on in North St. Louis. From where I'm sitting, the holding of funding emergency funds post-COVID for poor black folks is more important to me. And I'm praying for both sides. I don't know who's right and who's wrong in that war over there. I don't have all the information on it. I haven't researched it because I'm so plagued with the ills in North St. Louis that I really haven't had the time to even look into it. I'm praying that our Congresswoman would pause for her cause and step up to the plate and help represent poor black folks in her district in North St. Louis City that have been denied resources and funding for 1,062 days, emergency funding that's been held from the poor black folks and poor black businesses in North St. Louis City. I'm pleading with the Congresswoman to engage in what's going on in North St. Louis as it relates to the American Rescue Plan funds being withheld. Those are the things that I'm focused on right now. And if anybody can give me any suggestions, any ideas on what it is that we can do to convince our Congresswoman that represents us to get involved with the funds being held hostage from poor black folks in North St. Louis City. Any suggestions, any ideas? I'm pleading for that at this moment.
In those documents, it tells you inside the state of Missouri what organizations received the funding. So, SLDC right here in the city of St. Louis received the funding for the people on the north side, but they were not supposed to create programs to where you're not receiving direct payment. The programs they were created were workforce programs in conjunction to giving you direct payments and affording these businesses the things that they were supposed to get during the crisis when they fell short of funds. So you were supposed to get re-upped by SLDC by way of Joe Biden giving you your reparations. And let's be real, I'm gonna tell you something. It's reparations coded. Because if you understand what Title 42 is, USC, that's the Social Security Administration as well as Social Services. When they reclassify people's status, it's been dislocated. You have to go by lawful terminology. And the lawful terminology that Washington, D.C. has sent to St. Louis chose to ignore it, which is a federal crime. See, on page 32 of this EDA paperwork they sent me, it tells you about the fraud clause, where certain politicians throughout the United States start trying to manipulate the funding. They already done touched down with them, served them with federal subpoenas. A lot of them have lost offices. They tried to pull the same maneuver that other politicians pulled. But I'm telling you that everything that's dealing with your money, you can actually download it, and it tells you why you're supposed to get it, when they send it to St. Louis, and how you keep getting more, because it's based off each person's family and your family size. So let's just say Mr. Willie Boyd came down there and stated that he had 5 children. They would look at his 5 children, the needs and necessities, and if they've got children, which is grandchildren, and they would assess it. That's what St. Louis City was supposed to do. The development corporations were supposed to take what you say to them and process the information about what you need to get a check. No one's check was going to be the same because no one's family is the same. Then they have the funding for mental illness. You see, the same funding that you see them trying to apply to these programs where they get on board with St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and St. Charles to have committees that oversee crime and things of that nature. The funding wasn't for that either, y'all. This is what I'm trying to tell you. The funding was directly for you, no one else. It's in the verbiage. So if you don't know about your funding, they're able to take it, do with it what they will, because they never informed you. In 2021, if you go on YouTube, Lance did a Q&A about the Recompete pilot program. And I guess he forgot that he did that Q&A because it's him giving an interview speaking about what he's going to do with the funding. Your local mayor, she hired Neil Richardson and she hired Lance Knuckles. So if you go on their page, it tells you when they first got into office, the SLDC, and they took the people's place that they took, that they were about to make inclusion for the people in the North Side to be able to obtain property at an easier rate than they did with all the red tape through LRA before. Now, the feds addressed that too, because they sent them funding to give to private owners who own property and young men and women to rehab those properties, called restabilization. It's called Proposition NS. I helped write it in 2017 and 18. Laura Ginn is the woman that's over the project. Basically, it's like this. Let's just say this gentleman has a vacant building that's sitting beside his house. Well, he's supposed to call this man named Sean Thomas down at LRA and Zach. They come out, and what they basically do is they look at the building and they assess it. Is it worth saving, or if it's not? It takes about 2 weeks. In those 2 weeks, they come and say, well, Mr. Such and Such, since you nominated the building, there are funds just to stabilize the building, not to rehab it, to stabilize it. It's $30,000 a single unit and up to $50,000 on the bid for a 2-family flat. These funds were designed to give to your local people in the local communities. Lance told Ms. Coffey, told myself and my man, Mr. Willie Boyd, that come January and February, he would have a program to where you could basically get paid to cut grass for the parcels, between $150 to $300 per grass, as well as clean the yards up and get additional funding. That's being held up. So all these programs they speak about are to keep you quiet so that you basically can get nominated to be someone that gets on the grant team, or should I say the buddy system. But the bigger issue is that as long as they hold the money hostage and you don't know about it, then they themselves can live off some interest. And they didn't hesitate. Let me explain to you what I mean. He didn't hesitate. Mr. Darrell Smith works at the SLDC. And the day that we went down there with Mr. Carter a couple weeks ago, he stated emphatically that, yeah, we hired people. We give them a $200,000 budget just to help us learn how to spend the money for y'all. Listen to what I'm saying. The man said they give out a $200,000 contract to different companies to aid and assist them on how to spend y'all's money. Paul McKee, they're trying to figure out a way to take y'all's money and put it in his pocket so he can start developing these properties on the north side. Listen, none of those funds are controlled with this account. Listen to what I'm saying to you. This account is just y'all's money.
And you're talking about the EDA money, not even the ARPA funds.
The ARPA funds are the EDA money. It's coded. The Recompete Pilot Program is the EDA, is the ARPA funds that they keep telling y'all about. See, Chad Egan is the man you got to speak to, you guys. Before I leave, I'm going to give all y'all his number because he's in Jeff City, but he's from Washington, D.C. So every city that had to go through the phase of being studied to get the money for distressed programs, they wrote him the blueprint. See, Lance's office in the city of St. Louis, they wrote on you guys' behalf. Y'all didn't know nothing about it. So when the funds came in, they were supposed to contact you by way of email, telephone, or public announcement like most other cities and states did. This has been going on for 3 years. While other cities have been dropping crime and reducing crime, and the city been lying about it. Giving you statistical reports that don't even make sense. And they had a man on the news just come on and tell them that his data reports, based off them studying the statistic of crime going up and down, he said that's a false statement that the police chief made and the mayor made. Because we know it's a false statement. When they stop answering the phone, which is the 911 calls, you cannot report crime if you don't answer the phone call. So they're trying to counter anything and everything that takes place in the city they don't want you to know about. Let me touch on a subject that took place in 2020 real quick to camel back on. There was a family on Page in front of my home that got killed during what they call Operation Legend. One of them was a singer, it was a young boy and a girl, it was an older young gentleman, and it was all over the news when they said they was chasing that young man who had started the chess club on Page and Grand. They said he had a gun. They said he had just got into some violence. He was a business owner. So what I'm basically going to tell y'all is this. The day that I spoke out to the world about this man and how these people did this young boy, the feds came and run up in that house, 35 agents deep. I wasn't even there. Just because I spoke out about it. I put Attorney General at the time, it was Barr, because I witnessed everything that took place. The officers ran this man down in a car, crossed over the lanes, chasing him in broad daylight at 4:45 in the afternoon. Caught it on my ring cam. So many cars and people got hurt, cars flipped over. They had a standoff because they left the boy's body out there. This St. Louis City Police Department. So when I did a speech about that on the news with Andy Banker, I've been catching hell ever since. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this lightheartedly. I'm saying this because my family worry about my safety for me speaking out on things that take place that these fools down there are doing that y'all don't know nothing about.
But you ain't scared, brother.
Well, I ain't scared, you know what I'm saying? But it comes with a cost. It comes with a cost. But if you don't do something to stick together as a unity and a community, then you're not going to get things accomplished. So I'm only bringing this information to y'all because Mr. Carter was emphatic about his passion to get that money and to get this message brought to some of y'all that's concerned people that need to know about it. And so, you know, I just take full responsibility from Chad Egan to express the information that he gave me to make sure y'all get it, because the man is really trying to do a little different and make a change in the city with the funding that he sits on. When I spoke to him about the schools, he considerably said, if you can get a petition signed, I can write a check. You understand what I'm saying? We in a crisis, and St. Louis is considered to be one of the most ground zero places that is looking like Beirut in Lebanon. Yeah, North City. You know, and I'm just telling y'all flat out, man, it's a shame that we got politicians who are taking millions and keeping it away from the people that can change their own community. You know, if you go on the north side, which we're sitting at right now, we're at a library. This is clean. Most places don't look clean like this in the library, but I guarantee you, if you go over on Jefferson and 40 and go in the same library, it's going to look 10 times better than this. If you go over here on Euclid and Forest Parkway, the library looks 10 times better than this. So what I'm saying to you is that they leave us in destitute. They leave us with crummy streets, poor sanitation. Look at how these streets and these communities look with the trash and the vacant buildings that's falling down. However, these funds I'm telling you about, you don't even have to send your child to go get a job when he can go right down to the city of St. Louis and sign up for Proposition NS, and they give him to a contractor that pays him $1,000 a week to help him with the buildings. That's a $25 an hour salary for a young man that's 18. Now, if the young man will get certified to do what he do, he can make $150,000 a year just tearing down 3 buildings with him, or stabilizing 2. So it's a way to get your funds up in your community to where you really don't have to go outside your community to look for work, because they brought the money here for you to work your community by them steady giving you the funds to build up the things that you need to build up around your community. And let's be clear, there ain't never been a politician that came in and took care of a household. Their job is to get votes based off what they say they're going to do. So if I'm saying something wrong, why haven't they disputed what I'm saying? Because I've been saying it for 3 years to the people. You understand? This information is public information. It's not like it magically appeared because I'm real cool with this European guy from Washington, D.C. No, it's public information that we just studied and found out that, hey, Detroit, Michigan got this amount, Chicago got this amount, Little Rock, Arkansas got this amount, Joplin, Missouri got so much millions of dollars based off a tornado. Then he explained to me that people in rural areas, hear me out when I tell you this, people in rural areas got money to dig wells for well water. See, nobody was left without funding. It tells you that in the wording, the way they send it. There's not a man, woman, and child in no city or state under the United States jurisdiction that was supposed to be without. They gave so many billions of dollars for communities to take care of their own mental illness patients, which basically means this. Y'all seen all these home health cares where you get paid to take care of your loved ones now, right? Well, they were paying people to adopt their own family members and help them get their medication. They would pay you for it through the EDA rescue program. I sent pictures of this man. Let me explain this to you. The churches that used to sit right here on Kings Highway is burned down. There's a little building in the back of it. There was a homeless man standing there with no legs in a wheelchair. I used to take him food. Well, I took him, his pictures and stuff, because he wouldn't get in the truck up to SLDC. Chad went and got some people from the VA to pick this man up. St. Louis City didn't do nothing. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Chad went and got some people from the VA to pick him up. Got him to the VA hospital and out of the cold. Y'all might have seen him. He used to be sitting in front of the Snooks, drinking beer, acting crazy with no legs, just bleeding. When I told the people at SLDC about it, Stacy Fowler at the Sumner office, she said she was going to do something about it. They didn't do nothing. That's why I told Chad. See, I tried to reach locally and follow the chain of command, but they're not listening. It's deaf ears. So I commend all y'all for coming out and listening, However, when you contact Chad or the EDA to express to them what's going on in your community, on your block, how many vacant houses sit on your mother's street, how many dead children sit in these vacant houses right now that they haven't discovered. You see, they give money to those who ride around. There's some Caucasian men right now, every morning they get up, ride around to homeless encampments who get paid to do it from federal funding, just taking pictures and telling the people where warm shelters are at, or they put them in the car and drop them off to a warm shelter. They show it on Fox 2 and Channel 4 News in the morning time. Those are y'all's funds. The same funds they sent y'all to make sure these children have basically people out there to monitor the children getting on the bus. Those are y'all's funds. The same funds they have for you to take the opportunity to go to these schools. Just run down, board it up, make assessments with community organizers. Chad is the one that can help you open these schools back up with curriculums. The only thing he can't do is tell you how to bid the jobs out to get the buildings back in order, because it's got to be outsourced. You can't do it yourself. But everything else, from the director to what's going in the building to the curriculum, this is what he does. It's infrastructure, but it starts from the bottom up. Even the president said we're starting from the bottom up. And he said, if you need more money, contact us. I mean, it does not get more simpler than that. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm just a chairman of the Moore Side Civil of America, trying to aid and assist, following humanity and doing some works, because I got 8 grandchildren and 6 children and more to come. However, I grew up in a situation where I seen some of the worst things you can see in this city. So as a parent and a grandparent, I'm trying to do my part in changing the narrative. There is nobody that comes to St. Louis to visit Northside. People come to St. Louis to dump off their trash, score some dope, pick up a prostitute, and get drunk. And eat a little bit of Mr. Prince Carter's barbecue. But the truth of the matter is this. Northside is a historical place in America. These homes have historical value. They're put on the historical list where they receive about $16,000 to $17,000 every 3 years just for the upkeep from the federal government. You guys are not being told about that either. When you look up the word erected and built, your building has 2 different dates. One is the erected date if you live in the north side, and one is the built date. The built date is the date when someone took over jurisdiction. Things changed, but the erected date is when the parcel that goes back to your address shows that someone else owned that property and is grandfathered in. So whoever owns those addresses, they receive federal aid and assistance for those properties. And the north side and New Jersey are the number 1 and 2 states, 1 and 2 cities in America that's listed as the oldest cities with the most historical bricks on the buildings. And so if you got any house that's on the north side, just like the LRA property, they tell you the building is worth so much, the insurance company will tell you they can only insure your building up to $1 million, but it's worth more just because of the bricks. In 2019, before Mr. Sam Moore passed away, that was the alderman in my neighborhood. I used to do a lot of business with him. So the Gray Storage Building right there on Whittier and Martin Luther King that was torn down, that sits across the street from the Harlem Tap Room. When they tore that building down, the company that got the contract was from the south side. They weren't supposed to get the contract. The contract was supposed to go for the north side people on the north side. Because when the building got torn down, the bricks got auctioned off to Greece and Rome. St. Louis City made over $450,000 just off the bricks alone, and almost $200,000 off the wood, because the wood is antique, historical. And what they do is they take the wood out these buildings, the beams, and they take it to a miller, and they make new wood out of it. And they charge an arm and a leg, and they send it all across the United States. So You think you're sitting on something that you don't understand what it is. The city knows exactly what they got. That's why they make it hard for you to get the LRA properties and the CDA properties. Laura Costello, she was the one over the land bank before Neil Richardson took her place. The land bank is where city residents, especially North Side people, you didn't even have to go get a loan from your own private institution. If you obtained the property from the city, the land bank was supposed to cover you on partial payments to rehab the building. The federal government stepped in and took on the rest of the payments for you because it's property preservation. These are the things that y'all are not knowing because they're not informing you. They tell you what they want you to hear and let you know what they think you need to know. However, crime in St. Louis is so great that the people they interviewed at the Blues game said they've never seen nothing like it. Man got killed a block from the Blues game while the game was going on, and they heard the shots, and he died on the street on Pine. And some of them had to walk past his body getting back to their parked cars. And we do it all the time. But crime is down. So the main thing is that if the programs that the city was creating and the money the city was giving to certain institutions to help you were working, why hasn't the Urban League told you guys about all of the programs they're giving funding for elderly families and people that need water heaters and furnaces for free? Well, I know they hadn't told you because, listen, it's a hush-hush. Like I told you, Craig Washington and Otha Thompson are the people you need to speak to at Urban League. Craig Washington. On page. St. Louis City gave them a whole bunch of money for this program. A whole bunch of money. An average furnace costs you $1,000. A friend of mine who is he's on Locust. I ain't gonna tell you his address, but he's on Locust. They put in a hot water heater, a brand new furnace, a new meter, rewired his house. Bill came to be $18,000. I know the contractor that did it because I'm the one referred him to it. The same man I'm telling you about, they about to put a roof on his house. The requirements to get you a roof put on your house is that you just got to get 3 bids. Because listen, if they don't spend the money, they got to return it. These are different funds, but they're all part of the American Rescue Plan. Concept is, if you don't know that you got money, how you going to spend it? How you going to utilize it? So the concept that I'm looking at is that information is the only key to get y'all up to par of what's going on. Because to be conscious means to be aware. And you have to know that these people are playing with your money, telling you different stories, making up lies that don't make sense. Because I'm telling you, the moment that you contact the EDA and they tell you what website to download, it's right there in your face. And they're not going to sugarcoat it to you either. They're going to tell you the people that was formerly known as Negro, Black, and Colored are now known as indigenous people. This they money. So anytime the feds put money out there for you and tell you they got clauses to where politicians can't touch it, see, the hip thing they did was they figured out a way to manipulate the funds by keeping it in the bank and moving the interest. See, Tashara just told y'all about she feels like St. Louis should win by utilizing the interest. Am I right or wrong, Mr. Carter? Matter of fact, tell her verbatim what she said.
She was talking about the funds for the Rams, and she said that they wanted to put the funds in the bank and work off the interest and save the money for a rainy day when it's been raining in North St. Louis for over 40 decades.
Yeah. So she used to be the treasurer, so she knows how to maneuver money. You understand what I'm saying? And like Chad said, anytime you put this amount of money in front of people who are not used to dealing with this type of funding, it corrupts them even more than what they are. You know what I mean? So I could basically understand why he was explaining this to me, because they sent him down to monitor the funds from Washington, D.C. His office is in Jeff City. They made every investigator that monitors these funds set up an office in the capital of every state that got the funds.
So what's the solution? What are we doing?
two things we're doing. First of all is awareness. Okay? To inform you is one thing. After you get the information is something else. What we're doing at the Morris Science Temple of America with other people, we're getting a petition together because federal agents have already said it is a law being broken. It's federal funding that was sent to you in a crisis being withheld. Mr. Carter has a clock that tells you how long the money's been held hostage. See, these funds were not just given to the city to say, hey, have a good time with some money that we sent y'all because we love y'all so much in the city of St. Louis. They were meant to give out to the people that needed, that was in despair. It tells you when I read this, people were not in the job force no more. People retired. People got sick. All type of things take place in a crisis. You can't plan for a crisis. However, you can give the people that's going through some crisis some money. They are protected by the Constitution. Remember, this is a constitutional issue. It tells you in the wording. That's why they attach Title 42 to the money. But once again, like I told you, the legal department in the city of St. Louis maneuvered, and their maneuver was to put it in an account. And let me explain this to you to go even further. Bill, what was that bill that they voted on?
82 and 37. 82 and 37.
So the new bill was 82. Yeah.
It was 37.
Ordinance number 71504, Board Bill number 82 as amended Exhibit 1. It says appropriation amount corridor for use of funds, $5 million for North Grand Corridor, $9,600,000 for Dr. Martin Luther King Corridor, $1.2 million for Florissant Avenue Corridor, $600,000 for North Broadway Corridor, $5,700,000 for Natural Bridge Avenue Corridor, $5,550,000 for West Florissant Avenue Corridor, $1.1 million for Delmar West Corridor, $1.3 million for Delmar East Corridor, $1.25 for Goodfellow Corridor, $4.5 million for Union, $500,000 for Page, $825,000 for area-wide benefit projects, planning, marketing, and consulting, which totals the $37 million they keep throwing in y'all's face, which is an illusion.
Just collecting interest.
No, the $37 million is just something they put in your face to make you go left when they going right. So look, basically, the funding was sent here not for them to disperse it the way they want to. You were supposed to receive the money based off the needs of your family. And the businesses that suffered were supposed to receive money then based off their assessments of what they lost.
So how do we get it now? Just apply for it?
No, we have to subpoena them. See, listen, they're not answering anything to common folk. Jesus taught equality, but these people bigger than Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm a Muslim, but they bigger than Jesus. Matter of fact, they bigger than God in their eyes because they playing God with your funds that the feds sent to alleviate the distress and to minimize the crime. Listen, y'all, I'm not a saint. I done been penitentiary. And I'm telling you, flat out, anytime you take people and you take away their livelihood and a means to make money, they're going to revert to whatever's best and however they can get those funds. And so cause and effect is what we're looking at. These young men know they supposed to have some money. They know $10 an hour ain't going to cut it when they got children. They know their baby mama is on their back, but they willing to pick up that MAC-10, that AK, and that dope and get out there in the middle of the night and get it how they live. I can only tell you how the streets is, man. I done survived it. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't born with a silver spoon in their mouth. However, we can change. But change comes from above. And the Creator sent a blessing to us. And when Joe Biden signed that bill and sent that money to the people in the city of North Side, listen, it should have been a jubilee. But yet and still it's been a curse, a gift and a curse, because those that's managing the money, they can't sleep at night because they trying to figure every day a way to maneuver some more funds. When you have men, and I hope y'all don't take this the wrong way, but I'm an alpha male. I can't take advice from a demasculated man. And when I go down to SLDC, I have to talk to a bunch of homosexual men. You understand me? So that's not my character. And to go to talk to some homosexual men about some funding, and they not even from St. Louis, is really a slap in the face. Because most of them are from out of town and out of state. But I'm not a racist, and I believe in equilibrium and equality for all. Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us that, you can't change man's God. God's man today may not be his God tomorrow. However, we're supposed to aid and assist humanity in the best way we can. And all I'm explaining to y'all is that we're being kicked in the rear by our own people. And they built their campaigns and they got in these offices based on what they said they was going to do by rejuvenating the North Side. Mr. Carter, I don't know if you can show this, but I text you 2 emails on your text about what Mr. Neil Richardson's platform was when he first got hired and what Lance's platform. If you go on the website and look them both up in 21 when they got here, both of them built their platforms by the North Side and what they were going to do for the North Side. Now, as a man and as a father and a grandparent, I sympathize with them to a point because it's a lot of responsibility that was put on their backs to get his money out. However, they asked for this. The man told us one of his associates, Mr. Darrell Smith, in front of Mr. Carter, myself, Miss Coffee, he explained they've been hiring people in corporations paying $200,000 salaries just to help them to figure out how to spend money. Well, that's what I asked him. I said, why did y'all go out of town to find people to hire when you could have come to the North Side and picked out people and started a committee with people on the North Side? Right here is Mr. Carter, Miss Coffee, my man right here. A lot of people who have education and skills under their belt to organize people. This is a community problem, not a world problem. But if crime stays the way it is, it's going to be a world problem because they're going to send the National Guard in here and shut it down. Listen, crime is so bad, the only major grocery store that we have on the North Side is the Snooks. The one on Grand, they closed the second door to it because some youngsters ran a car up in there stealing. So when your grocery stores are not safe to shop in, and your mother and father can't go to the gas station and get gas because they about to start closing some of these gas stations about crime and a nuisance, it all starts from home. Listen, I'm a father, but I understand this. Man can't do a woman's job. It's impossible. It's virtually impossible. When a boy as a child cries, he don't run to daddy, he run to mama. So if mother got to stay away from home and her teenage boys is trying to raise his teenage younger boys and sisters, but he got to go out and push a pack and leave them unattended, this is the breakdown of our society. The reason why their fathers are not in the homes because the fathers been ran out the homes, man. See, listen, this goes back way back to the 80s when Social Security and the Social Service Administration decided to give women a check and tell them they can't have fathers in the home if they accept this check. So the breakdown of this society started 35, 40, 50 years ago. Listen, be real with yourself. After civil rights went dead with MLK, the world went in chaos. See,
brother, let's wrap up on what we're gonna do.
What we're gonna do about this money is right here. At the end of the
We
day,
gotta get to the money.
we got to get a petition signed,
It's just that simple.
and it's that simple.
Playing that game, and I'm saying it's time to put feet to the pavement and get these signatures, get this petition. And I see a lawsuit in the makings, a class action lawsuit, because that's the only thing that they're going to understand, and that's the only way we're going to really get true justice. There needs to be some accountability. We shouldn't have to go through this.
And I want to, say how they kept changing,
And they still changing. And they're still changing. Well, and that's to do what they've been doing. A lot of people got discouraged and just gave up and not even pursuing it anymore.
Yeah, well, what I want to say, friends, is that first first, okay, it was the sustainability, the startup, and expansion fund. And we were clearly told, can I take one?
Sure.
Stabilization, expansion, and a startup. And we were clearly told it didn't matter if you made a lot of money, if you didn't have any money. It was the new non-for-profits, which I own a non-for-profit as well. And then, so a lot of us applied. And I told, everybody I know, first it was not enough people. It was less than 200 people. So it was like, nobody knows. So then we all run around and we go get more and more people. Then it became 760 people by the time they closed it October the 30th. Now they're saying they have too many people. Everybody's not going to get the funds. Okay. We didn't have meetings, private meetings with Lance Knuckles. We didn't have private meetings with Darrell Smith. We didn't have several private meetings, a group of us. Okay. And we were told clearly, it doesn't matter. I said, well, I'm told that Paul Keyes, got his hand in the pot. And we already know the history about him. Okay. St. Louis City money. From the beginning, it said St. Louis City money is for St. Louis city residents who have businesses in St. Louis, or if you have a non-for-profit in St. Louis. That's where that money was supposed to go. But now we got people who don't live in the city are bringing businesses to the city and getting our money. Okay, we got people that don't even live in the state of Missouri that is opening businesses in St. Louis City and in line to get our money. And then we were told that when they said, well, Copy, your business really haven't made any money. And so how are we going to be giving businesses who haven't made any money? They said some people out here asking for $1 million and their business ain't never even made $50,000. Why would we give them $1 million? Their business ain't never made. That's the reason why they need some goddamn money, okay? That's the reason why they need it. Somebody who made $6 million, why you need the money? You should have done what it needed to do with the money you got. The people who don't have any money is the ones that need the money for the business. I grew up on the North Side. I grew up on Margaret. I graduated from Ashland. I went to Beaumont, okay? And everything was black owned over here. We bought our shoes from Yellow Ball, and we even bought our bolo bats there, okay? We had C&K Barbecue. We had Cox Cleaners, Cox Laundromat. Did we not? Everything was black owned. We even had a black gas station, a mobile, by the brothers right there on Lee and Clarence, right? Okay? And it's all gone. We have, a couple black automotive places. We got Willie Boyd's place over on Penrose and West Florissant, Prairie and West Florissant. We still have a barbecue place. Even though they took C&K, we got something better. We got Prince, okay? But we don't have nowhere near what we had, fam. So then I told him, I said, well, I see what you're saying as far as business that's not used to making money, why they want money. And I told them why I feel they should get them, because I'm one of them business. My non-for-profit ain't made a quarter. Now I can lie and put it all down, but I'll be going to jail like the rest of them people did with that lying, making all that what it need to do, right? So I know my business ain't made no money because the money that took to finance my business came out of my pocket. Okay? With the majority of us, we're financing our own business. And you can't tell me we don't need it. Crime is an issue, a big issue. Okay? And so I have my little meetings in my house. I ain't scared of the ex-convicts or the gangbangers or the single parents, okay? Because that's my family, okay? Ain't no secret. If they ain't my family, they know my family. Or know somebody that know my family that knew my family, right? So you can't say that crime is going down. You can't say that we don't need these programs. How do we need more people who are not from St. Louis, who do not live in the city? But we can't go out in the county and get their money. Sam Page got it down pat. See, the county money is for the county people, for the county businesses. So when you leave here, I hope you consider telling people that who applied, and a whole lot of people didn't apply because the word wasn't even out. The reason why the word went out, they wasn't telling nobody. That's why it took all the way until they changed it August the 1st, new contract. Did a whole new contract. If you applied before August the 1st, like I did, and a lot of us applied before August 1st, then come August 1st, they did a whole new contract. But they kept saying, we don't have enough people. People was calling me that work down there. I ain't got to drop no names right now, but they will be coming, okay? People was calling me, how do we tell the people? We don't know what they need, and we can't get people to apply. So we told the people. And then we told the people, and then they waited all the way until about a month before they closed the deadline. Then you start seeing on TV All these commercials, you're just seeing these billboards going up, the empowerment center. Then everybody running over to Sumner High School right quick. They kept changing the rules. Now you got to take online classes, Miss Peebles. Okay, I was in them online classes. Okay, first if you take one online class, you get an extra $5,000. So I took the one online class. Then it changed. Oh, we're going to up to 4 online classes. So we took the 4 online classes. Well, now there's 12 online classes. And it's no longer you get the extra $5,000. It's mandatory. So they keep changing horses in the middle of the race. And we had enough, family. So if you sick and tired of being sick and tired, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to keep it real. Okay, y'all already know I ran for something. I ain't running for nothing right now. I ain't going to say I may not ever run again. But this ain't no politician. Let's get it clear. I was just willing to do the job, okay? I have been offered jobs downtown. I'm broker than a joke, and I ain't got to perpetrate. I ain't got to front it. I know I'm broke, okay? But I'm not taking them jobs. People coming to me saying, Coffee, you could work down such, I can get you on such, you're going to hire you. I know it. But if I take those jobs downtown, guess what? I don't qualify for the grant. Conflict of interest, fam. So these are the games that are being played to keep big mouth people like myself, like Brother Prince, like Brother Nas, and anybody else, Willie Boy, who ain't no secret, and gonna tell it all. These are the tricks, Brother Bob, that is to keep us closed, to silence our voice, family. So I'm signing that petition. I want to be first on the list. You be second. And thank you so much, Prince, for putting this on. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Sister Carver. I did not want to allow folk to be able to say that we were now frustrated and angered about this whole process of seeking these emergency funds. I can't say it enough. COVID-19 devastated my business. Prior to COVID-19, I was doing fine. The challenges and the hurdles and the obstacles that were plagued with during COVID and after COVID, my business is still suffering. So it hurts me to know that the federal government sent some funds for my business and my community, and my local elected officials are holding those funds hostage as of 1,060 days and counting. So this latest news I heard about them boasting about they want to start new startup business. They want to help people start up business, but you won't help the businesses that's already existing. Okay? Let's be clear about this. How would you even begin to start up businesses without stabilizing and aiding and assisting the businesses that are already in existence? The president said it, and I can't stop saying it. I heard it with my own ears. Start building from the bottom up, starting with the HUD census tract. That was the message. That was the assignment. They understood. But what Lance Knuckles told me was, you believe that much in your president, as if to say that the contingency clause was non-existing. So we can talk about this all night. I'm at a place where I'm tired of having meetings. I'm tired of jaw jabbing. I want to put some action in front of my words. And this petition and lawsuit is what we're going to have to be about the business they're doing. That's the only way they're going to take us serious. They're going to continue to blatantly disrespect us and disregard us as a people, as a community, if we do not take the necessary actions. I'm praying that we are successful with these meetings in the days to come. Now, I know I kind of threw some folks that know me with a left curve because all my life I've been a diehard Democrat. I've been Democrat all my life. But I was so frustrated that I decided to reach out to every elected official that governs my area, regardless to their affiliation and party. And none of my folks would call me back. None of them. I couldn't get a call back from my alderperson. I couldn't get a call back from my mayor. I couldn't get a call back from my state rep. I couldn't get a call back from my congresswoman. But the Republican people said, we'll see what we can do to help. Now, they may or may not help. But if I don't go and talk to them, I won't know. They won't unless I go and see if they're really willing to help. Because my thing is now we need to be about the business of not allowing this to happen again, because there's more money coming. Okay, so why continue to depend on the people that have let us down already and being overseeing those funds? Let's get ties directly with the federal government so that the people can, whatever we need to do, register, whatever program we need to go through to identify who we are and where we live and where our business is, and be on record with that and be certified that we can get these funds directly from the federal government. That's what I'm on.
Make it on record. I support who support me. So can we lay out
There is signs, signatures,
You wanna have a certain amount by a certain date, lay that out, and let's go out and be strategic and hurry up.
It shouldn't take long.
So
We got to be.
here's an idea right here. His shop could be ground zero for the petition signing. Basically, we could have him put the form up, and every day people come in and sign the petition,
And other businesses.
and other businesses with
Every
it.
business that has a business.
And then in less than, I say, 30 days, we get all the documents that are signed.
Make it 2 weeks.
Or 2 weeks? Okay, okay. I was just giving y'all some time to move. I'm a man of action. 2 weeks. We'll make it 2 weeks.
If I had it my way, it would be a week.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we want as many as possible.
We gotta have a goal.
All we need is 300. No, I'm just saying all we need is 300 to push it. But to get as many as possible means no man, woman, or child is left behind.
And let's be clear on this. Okay.
Let's say, look, let's put minimum right now, he needs 5 signatures to get it started.
Okay.
We get 5.
Okay. We all agree on that. You are. You volunteered. You've already been assigned. Okay. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We should be able to draft this by tomorrow, I'm thinking, and then I can make copies, and I think every business can even get, your customers to come in, the people in your community that are not aware of this. We can get them involved. Well, if churches, I'm a church man. If we can find some churches that'll help us, and I would love to see the churches should really be supporting us on this. I really think they should, because this is not about just my business or your business, his business. It's about our community as a whole. That these funds have been held hostage and holding us back.
And it needs to be clear about the language, that they keep changing the language, because what businesses qualify and which ones.
We're gonna jump over all that.
You said that about the churches. I'll cut your point.
Mm-hmm.
He did state that that's where it was supposed to start at, in your local religious communities, which they got the memos.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the churches got funding, y'all.
Already.
Listen, a lot of Caucasian churches got funding because they were saying they were giving humanitarian assistance back to those that need. So
With the different food banks and what have you.
Just funding for everything: clothes, food, and shelter, and rental assistance. See, the places that you see that's got rental assistance, it's under the Terrorist Rescue Plan. They got their money. Okay. So we had a bigger portion on the north side. That's why I went to SLDC straight. Right. So the money Mission St. Louis got was a portion from your money to give back to you. Right. They were paid as a distributor, same way the Urban League. Like, not only does the Urban League offer the winterization, they do the aid and assistance for your rental assistance. So the Fed sent enough money to where your rent will be paid for a year.
Mm-hmm. There was a clause in this package where when the president spoke about increasing minimum wage to $15 an hour, and the small businesses, they would help them with financing that for the first year.
Right.
That's where the contingency clause came. I keep saying, think about it. Let's use a little common sense. $9 million to redevelop Martin Luther King from Jefferson to the city limits. Come on now. Make it make sense. All right. There was a contingency. They gave them that much to get started because they know about the historical corruption of our local politicians, that they didn't want to overdo it. and they wanted to keep enough money out there that they can watch and get it to the people in a form of an emergency, and that hasn't been done. And that's the reason I'm counting these days, and I'm asking you all to not leave here today, not leave here tonight with business as usual. We got to get this petition signed and get it drafted within the next 24 hours, get it signed within the next week. It shouldn't take us more than a week to get these signatures. Well, I'll have them tomorrow. If I have to write it myself, when y'all don't want me to do that, because it'd be a bunch of misspelled words.
Petition will be done tomorrow. I have it in his office, in his restaurant, and you can pull up in no side.
And I also have copies where you can take it and get signatures and bring it back too. Okay, we're gonna hit this hard and fast and heavy. And once we get these petitions signed, I think we should.
Okay, once the petition is signed, petition goes to the EA, but also it goes down to the federal court. Who can sign the petition? Whoever resides inside of city limits.
How far west, how
To Wells,
south?
it stops at Wells.
Stop at Martin Luther King?
No, it stops at Wells.
City limits of Wilson.
Everything on the amount belongs to black people. Okay.
Okay.
So you really want to get the elders who own property their name signed, because see, they were supposed to receive their money first from the city, y'all. That's in the clause of being city too.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't get
I was
it.
supposed to get our money first.
Okay. And see, those are the things that they, by signing this petition and getting these petitions signed, it really lets them know that what the city has been telling them about everything's under control when it really ain't.
So Pamela Boyd is our auto person, right?
Well, yeah, she's not my alder person. She's one of the alder persons.
Let me be clear about this. Some of your aldermen are going to be on the lawsuit as well as the subpoenas, because listen, we playing this out, and I ain't gonna hold no punches, nobody gonna sugarcoat it. They were informed before they received the money that they cannot touch it, they cannot barter, they cannot create anything that goes against what they were originally supposed to do. So a lot of y'all's alder people are two-faced, same snake, yeah, big tongue.
Other time,
They basically told you one thing and they went inside and voted on it, and they knew they wasn't supposed to even vote on it. There was nothing to vote on besides who is giving who this amount on this side of town and this side of town and this ward. That was it. Everything that you seen was extra. So all I'm telling you is that some of those same alderwomen and all the men that you speak to and all the time niggas, they're going to be on those subpoenas because they weren't supposed to do that.
And they knew it.
They knew
it. That was another tactic that they used to prolong this and get us to where we are today. But I don't want to harp on that. I want to stay focused, and I'm gonna ask you all to understand. I'm serious about talking to these other people to see what they have to offer, because I've never talked to them, and unless you talk to them, you never know.
Where are you at?
2700 Union in Northland. Right. And you can also, all my information is on social media. You can catch me on Facebook, YouTube. You can contact me, all those different avenues.
I'm gonna add something. A lot of y'all are homeowners, right? And I'm gonna use Miss Coffee as a prime example. Her house in square footage is available to receive tons of funds from SLDC. See, they sent the money because the houses are historical. And by these houses being historical, they had to hire, one of the best things they did come up with, they figured out a plan with myself and others to take people from the city of St. Louis and put the funds in their hands by letting them restore the buildings. So they just can't tear the building down. That's why they're still standing. See, the federal government told them that the buildings are a historical part of the country. So we send you funding for these buildings on the north side to preserve them. And the way that you take and alleviate the neighborhoods is that you put the funding back into the men and women's hands who live adjacent to these properties. So, like I said, Sean Thomas and Zach are the people that you contact about nominating the building. And let's just say Mr. Carter's building right here needs some tuck point and things like that. These same two gentlemen would take contractors that's already certified through SLDC's Proposition NS program. They would come out and do tuck point based off the city, and the city would pay him because his building sits in that same area that's historical. This is how this was supposed to work. However, when they dropped the ball and didn't tell you guys about it, you are now trying to foot the bill on things that was already prepaid for you, which is home repairs. That's inside the wording. Go ahead, my brother.
I know that they've been telling me, I'm 73 years old, and they told me they had some money for senior citizens for a roof repair.
Right.
And I've been calling those people for the past year or so to come out and repair my roof. And they just keep putting me on hold. Right. But and I live in Lewis Place.
Okay.
So you talking about the urban league? You said the city. No, I'm talking about the city.
Well, the city was supposed to. Well, see, the money that the Urban League came from the city. No. They do. What it is you got to speak to the right person for the right. See, listen, different accounts deal with different programs. So if you contact Otha Thomas up there, he's going to tell you he deals with HVAC and things like that. You call Mr. Washington, he's going to tell you his program is over roofs, electrical components in your house, updates, things like that. He's also over the contractors that get paid because all you do is submit your bid. Let's just say this gentleman needed a roof. He has 3 roofers from the city of St. Louis. And guess what? The beautiful thing about it is can't be no outside person from outside the city getting the bid. It has to be a roofer from the city. The roofers come and do the bid, the best bid that you pick. You turn it in to Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington sets up a date for them to come out. Everything is paid for by them up front because the city gave them the funds to do so. I know they don't because they keep it on the hush hush. It's the buddy system, sir.
What about that SLATE program?
SLATE lost all their contracts. That's the reason why the money went to Mission St. Louis and SLDC and listen, and was supposed to go to the people with community organizations with boots on the ground. I read that into the wording for you. Community organization with boots on the ground.
How much did Urban League get on this SLATE?
Millions. Okay. This brother said something about the square footage. So St. Louis is the hottest city in America right now for prices per square footage, right? So what they do is they attract companies by giving them tax break incentives. That tax break incentive is coming out of your money that the Fed sent you because you're not claiming it. So they're letting other people step up to the plate and claim what hasn't been claimed because here's the thing. Chad told me this out of his own mouth. When he reached out to SLDC the last time, they never responded. But he got an email from one of them that stated that they will get back to him real soon. And I told him they never will because if they tell you that they are doing something with the funds and you come down here and you interview these people on the north side and they tell you a different story, he's going to be held accountable. So the square footage thing is exactly how St. Louis City, when they created Proposition NS, was supposed to look at your property and assess it, how much they can give you per square foot to do the repairs. The same way contractors give you a bid based off square foot if they doing a roof or doing construction work. It's price and billing and coding. So that was the prefab payment that got the initial money to your home repairs. That's why Mission St. Louis and Urban League were given the funds because they were hired as a contractor, third party, to seek other home repair contractors and pay them to get on a list to go out and repair the elderly people's homes first. And you can contact Mr. Pettis at Mission St. Louis. He's a brother from Kansas City, and he'll confirm it. They pick up homeless people off the streets, give them $25 gas cards, and feed them just to bring them in for an hour program to keep the program going. So I'm explaining this to you. You can go to Mission St. Louis tomorrow, and within 3 days, they'll have a check for you. They were giving money for daycare to give out to women. It's right there on St. Louis. I mean, on Grand and across from Zodiac, the Zodiac Club. They were giving funds to Sullivan. Yes, they were giving funds for you for daycare. All of these funds were given out of the CARES Rescue Plan money that was sent for you, because no one is stepping up claiming it. So the only thing they're telling the city and these agencies are telling the feds is that we don't have the people coming up claiming what they're supposed to receive. So we are the trustees for them. Exactly.
I'll tell you something to support what this brother said. I was in a meeting. I live on Lewis Place. I was in a meeting with an older woman. She told us one thing. She said that thing about giving $500 to the city was nothing but a fake. That was fake. That was never going to happen. She told me that. She said, I don't believe that. And the other thing about the Urban League in our area, they came to our association, Lewis Place Association, Fountain Place. They wanted us to support them. They want 19 lots right behind the Urban League, Auburn. They was going to build new construction, new homes, 19 lots. Urban League got a lot of money. Y'all see those two new buildings that they built on the side? Hydroponics. They're going to be growing fruits and vegetables in there. Urban League got all that money. And Mission, the brother, he's talking about what the Mission gave you. They gave me $10,000 also.
Oh, they did it?
Yeah, I got $10,000.
Okay. For real, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And the man that gave it to you, he explained to you where the money came from. Did he or did he not? He didn't. Well, Andy is the man that gives you the money. He's the one that makes you get the check.
What's his name?
His name is Andy. So listen, Andy is from out of town. And most of the people that work at Mission St. Louis are from out of town.
Yeah, white folks.
So exactly. Now, they have a basketball gym in there and a swimming pool and all that to attract the youngsters to come in and to get them out of the streets and stuff like that. So if you go up there and talk to them, they start giving you information that the city don't want them to do, because they start informing you of what you can get access to. And it has nothing to do about you competing for grants. It is what they call crisis money. Already allocated. And all they do is just hold it and somebody come up there and state what they need. It's Mission St. Louis. Because Mission St. Louis was given the funds by SLDC to be a contributing partner as trustee. The problem is they only give them limited. Because listen, Mission St. Louis does their job, y'all. I'm going to explain this to you. They give out so much money they run out, and they got to wait for the city to re-up them. Because I've seen tons of people up there and they've got their checks. You know what I mean? So they do give the funds. It's just they have to wait for the city to say, here goes some more, y'all. Whatever you need. Mission St. Louis and Urban League takes care of the roofs, the water, the plumbing, any.
Caller, are you there? Are you there, caller? Let's see. Maybe I need to open this back up. Okay, are you there? Okay, that's the problem we're having. We're not transmitting the caller, and voice. You can hear me out there, but I can't hear the caller, and that's the problem that I'm having, and that's what we're trying to get past. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a little bit more research on it. This is Prince Carter. Good morning. You want to take a look at this, because the caller's not coming through. You can take a look at that, and I'm going to continue to talk for the people. Ladies and gentlemen, we are asking folks to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can go to YouTube, King Prince Carter Speaks, subscribe to that channel, and like us on Facebook and follow us on Facebook. We're going to have, you'll get notifications, rather, and when we go live and when we have important things to bring you, you'll be in the know. You won't be left behind. But you're going to have to subscribe to that YouTube channel so that you can get those notifications when we, in fact, go live to bring different things for you. Again, subscribe on our YouTube channel, as well as like and follow us on Facebook. Prince Carter is with Town Hall Community Radio. Also, on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be broadcasting live from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Black Radio Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to multitask. I'm not a great multitasker. That's the reason I'm fumbling here. So please bear with me as we try to work these kinks out and multitask at the same time. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for supporting thus far. Is that a... Okay, you're going to do the test call now and see if we can get it going. We're trying to get it set up where we can take calls so that we can, in fact, converse with folks all over the world and see if we can... caller, are you there?
Yeah, so this is the test call number 2.
All righty, we got it. Bang, bang, bang. It's working. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. This
I think
to
it's current here right now.
Yes, great job. We got the call, the phone line finally working. Okay, so I'm gonna hang up from that call. If anybody want to call in and help us test this, I'd appreciate it. If I can get one volunteer to dial area code 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. If you call in right now, just call and tell me if you love somebody, and we can spread a little love right quick before we hop off here. If you're out there on the information superhighway, dial the number 314-732-1212 and let us know that you can hear us on the other side, and we want to make sure we can get your call in. So give us a call right now, area code 314-732-1212, and we can make sure that we are able to get your call in. And that's one of the biggest things that I've been working on and fumbling with. So again, that number is 314-732-1212. Can I get a volunteer out there to give me a call right now and just call in and say you love somebody? Have you spread love today? Let's see if we can spread a little love over the information superhighway. If you're in a position where you can get to that phone, dial the number 314-732-1212. I need a caller so I can get off of here, and I need a caller from a different number other than my number to make sure that we're up and going correctly. I want to see if we have any glitches with folks calling from different phone numbers. So, well, let me try something different here. Let's see here. I can touch this over here. And again, each and every Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be broadcasting live. And the purpose of this program is to, in fact, get you up to date and aware of what's going on. And we need to have a centralized location that we can get accurate and emergency information to on a regular basis, so that we can. Okay, the phone lines is working. You got a second to give it a shot. Okay, dial it now. 314-732-1212, and we'll see if we can get you on live here. The information superhighway is a great tool that we can utilize for something that's going to be constructive and productive at the same time. So we are encouraging you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as like and follow us on Facebook. On the YouTube channel, it's King Prince Carter Speaks, and if you can just go to that YouTube channel and click on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It just gives you an opportunity to be on our notification list. And all right, caller, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
All right, you're live on Town Hall Community Radio with Prince Carter. We're live on the air. This is not a fake call. This is another test call. Been working for 2 days now with this phone thing to get it straightened out. So we've gotten it taken care of. Good morning, caller. Go right ahead. You got something you wanted to say about what's going on in our great city?
Well, this is, first of all, I'm thankful to you, brother Prince Carter, and the group that we have aligned ourselves with to get some information out to the community, factual information. And I thank you, and I know it's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all.
No. And as I navigate these education waters and solutions for what's going on with our children, your brother Monroe here, my nonprofit, Harriet Tubman, we are leading the charge expeditiously right now to seek and control 2 abandoned, vacant, crumbling, dangerous buildings in North St. Louis. And we seek to take control of these and vacate the rats and the roaches and the vermin and everything else that inhabits these places, and make dormitories, one dormitory for the young ladies and the other dormitory for the young men. And these dormitories will serve as homeless shelters also for those services needed by 5,000 or 6,000 homeless children in our city that we know of.
Brother Monroe, I got a question for you, if you don't mind me asking. When you talk about one for the ladies, one for the fellas, I recall, I heard one time the minister, Louis Farrakhan, talked about in education, the way they were brought up, where they kept the girls in one school and the boys in another up until a certain age so that they can focus and not be distracted from their learning with all of the things that the world has placed upon them. And I, for one, think it would be a great idea to try to readopt that concept. Because if we look at all the things that our young minds are exposed to now, and many of them are not in their interest, and the challenges that they have overcoming these vices that they're placed before, I think that we should be fair to say it's nothing wrong with trying to redevelop them on a level where you can have their undivided attention.
Well, it's really not a redevelopment. What has happened is we have gotten away from the actual proven method and gone off to this madness that has gripped our children. And I won't go off into that. What I will say is that one of the buildings that I've looked at here, that Harriet Tubman has looked at, is Stowe Elementary up there on Goodfellow. And just blocks away is Langston Middle School around the corner.
Bill, we don't have a shortage, not to cut you off, my brother, but we don't have a shortage of vacant buildings. The problem that we have is that nobody's willing to take the steps to help you and others at redeveloping and bringing these schools back into life for our community.
Well, understand this, brother. You can only push a stone up a hill so far, then you realize you have to take another direction. The fact is, at one time I was wholeheartedly seeking a collaboration with the Board of Education, with the St. Louis Public Schools, but I no longer seek that because the Board of Education has been hijacked by white supremacy, the same white supremacists out of Jefferson City, out of Missouri School Board, and black folks have to disinvest themselves from being commanded by those who don't have our best interests at heart, and we commandeer and do that which is best for our own children. So we've looked at both of these institutions. The plans that I have given the Board of Education a memorandum of understanding, and I've looked for a 5-day forecast and getting back to me. I have not heard from them because the issues that we're looking at are tantamount to a community being on fire. Our children are not in school. Our children are not being nourished. Our children are not being loved. Our children are not being educated. And we must take control of it and not allow those that don't look like us to command our children.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that there has to be time out for miseducation and no education. I think that it is incumbent upon us to do all that we can to begin the process of re-educating not only our children but ourselves as well, because there's a lot of miseducation and misinformation that I've been exposed to throughout the years, and I'm finding out later in life that Santa Claus wasn't Santa Claus. Okay, just to give you an idea of what I mean by that. I was grown when I found out about the race riot in 1917 in East St. Louis. I should have been taught that on an earlier level. I should have learned that back in grade school. I learned about Martin Luther King. Why I didn't learn about the race riots of 1917 in East St. Louis? Why I didn't learn about the Black Wall Street on the elementary level?
But Brother Carter, let me say this, because I'm rolling this morning and I stopped to give you this part. We'll be communicating again. You're right on target, man, and I love you for this effort, brother.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Bill. I appreciate you taking the time to call. And we think we've got the kinks worked out on the telephone situation, folks. So we're going to be working on that. I want to thank Brother Monroe for taking the time to call in. The number, you can keep it on hand, is 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. I guess I'm going to go ahead and hop off here now and sum it up. But thank you so much for tuning in. Keep us posted. We're open for ideas and suggestions. But keep in mind, Saturday and Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., we'll be broadcasting live from the campuses of Harris Stowe State University via the Black Radio Hall of Fame. And I look forward to that. I'm excited about it. And I hope and pray that you find it in your heart to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that you can get the notifications when we're live, as well as like and follow us on Facebook. This is Prince Carter. I'm signing off from King Prince Radio on what's the day? On a Wednesday morning. And thank you so very much. We love you. God bless. Stay strong and stay black.